Meanwhile, Labour Party has described the proposed salary increase by the Revenue Mobilisation, Allocation and Fiscal Commission for political office holders as unjustifiable, especially at a time when Nigeria is passing through economic hardship. LP's Interim National Publicity Secretary, Tony Akeni, said rather than increasing political office holders' salaries, the Commission should move for an increase in the minimum wage of Nigerian workers from its present 70,000 naira. He also noted that the United States government recently advocated an improvement in Nigeria's minimum wage and urged the Commission to retrace its steps in the best interest of the country. For some analysis, I have with me tonight political analyst George Ashiru, as well as chartered accountant Olusesan Okunade. Thank you very much for joining us. All right, I'll start with you, Mr. Ashiru. I mean, the Commission has vowed to go ahead with the process of upgrading the salaries of public officers, despite all the hullabaloo that I don't know if that's the correct word now. What are your thoughts about this insistence to go ahead with the review, despite the concerns raised?
I don't think any Nigerian will be surprised. There's nothing about this government or most governments in Nigeria that shows any form of attitude towards a review of decisions they've made. I mean, we all made noise and went on strike, asking for a review on the liberalization of forex. Some people did, nothing happened. You know, young people went on strike and protested the economic hardship of Nigeria occasioned by the, in quotes, first subsidy removal. Nothing happened. There has been no response by government to the issues raised by its own citizens who voted them into power. There's been no response to anything, you know, of importance to the people. So what we see is executive branch essentially just doing what it feels it wants to do, regardless of what the people want. And this particular instance is not an exception. Our party, African Democratic Congress, you know, just like other parties, have mentioned that there are certain things that are tone deaf. You know, you don't do them at certain times. I don't think anybody has a problem with the review of a salary. We have a problem with the fact that it's a review of a salary of people that don't live on their salaries. People that live, the feeding that is provided in presidential villa is provided by the taxpayers' money. All the travels of the president is taken care of by the taxpayers' money. Hosting of events, hosting of people, every single thing is taken care of by the taxpayers' money. And they're saying, look, we too are suffering, but we're still paying our taxes. So if you are thinking of increasing your personal revenue, then why don't you cut off all of the various benefits you're getting? Then that is where there's a good balance for us. We can increase your salary if you will cut down on your international travels, if you will cut down on some of the things which we regard to be economic waste to this country. And I think those are the real fundamental issues for Nigerians. Is the fact that you're buying new jets, you're buying new this, you are providing 200-300 million cars to this same set of people. You know, each of the cars, some of them have a retinue of about 4 or 5 cars, which will cost $1 billion plus. And then they are talking about salaries, again, to be reviewed. So why don't you remove 2 or 3 of those cars and then you can review their salaries? Why don't you remove half of their aids? Then you can review their salaries. That's really what Nigerians are saying, okay, you know, my sister. And I think that's what we need to be thinking about as well.
The concern is the more on the perks that comes with the role. But then again, Mr. Okunade, the Commission is saying that they're basically just relying on the mandate that they have from the 1999 Constitution to review salaries and remuneration of public office holders. And that's one argument they're putting up. Should they not be going ahead with their mandate in consideration of the timing as being agitated by Nigerians?
Thank you very much for listening. You see, it's quite disappointing the way some of these public officers speak when it asks concern about the political holders. If you have a mandate, have you asked yourself, the mandate given to you to review the salary or to work the salary of the political holders, have you had a shake with other agencies to see if they are actually, fulfilling some of the electoral promises they gave to the people. Nobody is actually saying they should not review the salary, just like what Mr. Ashiru said. But there is what we call the right timing in carrying out a particular thing. People are complaining of hardship in the land. And we also, like people like us have said, I'm not a politician, that there are no differences within all the political parties. They are birds of the same feather. Why do I say this? When the National Assembly was to be given vehicles, did you see any of the political party, despite criticizing the ruling party, that no, we will not go ahead with this? They all received it because they said it's what is attached to their office, not minding the people that they have actually been elected to lead. You see, this will come. Most of the time, the politician would have concluded that which they needed to do behind the scene, whet the appetite of the people, and carry on with what they need to do. The only person, and I will say here, that can stop this act and this attitude if there is a declaration or a pronouncement by Mr. President tomorrow. But if he's silent and he decides to turn his eye away from this, I can tell you it will see the light of the day. They will increase it. Nothing will happen, and everything will continue the way it is. We've seen instances where these people have not been very sensitive to the people that we are leading. And I hope, Mr. President, we just call them. There are a lot of things that are beneficiary to them, not this salary that we're actually talking about. A lot of people want to travel because of the obstacles that are attached to it. So I think they should just have the feeling of the masses that they claim that they are leading. This is not the best time, if you ask me, that this should be coming up, because things are not smiling to the people that they are leading.
I mean, the timing seems to be a consensus across board. But Mr. Ashiru, what is the possibility of the presidency stepping in, as being advocated by Mr. Okunade, that the commission should hold off this review at this time in consideration of the concerns that's been raised?
I think I have a better suggestion, and that is that some of these high office holders can simply say, oh, the commission can go ahead, but they have decided that they are going to donate their salaries to charity, or that they will receive only half of their salaries, or they will not even receive those salaries. So the salaries could be in principle increased, if that is what the commission is after. But that the people themselves who are beneficiaries will come out to say, I've come to serve Nigeria, not to exploit Nigerians. So I think it's insensitive. And so at this time, I will choose to receive for myself only what I've been entitled to, and the balance of it can go into something else. This is what we call leadership. It's not simply saying, well, it is my right. It is understanding that as long as the people that you are leading are suffering, you have to have some empathy for them. You have to connect with them. And one of the best ways to connect with them is to not have special rights, special privileges that they cannot enjoy. This is not Animal Farm that we have read about, George Orwell's. So I think essentially my concern again is not so much that a salary of 1.4 million is being reviewed to 1.8 million. No, these same people are getting allowances that are backed up into hundreds of millions in different ways. They get newspaper allowance, they get DSTV allowance, they get all these strange things that the average Nigerian worker doesn't get. And then they still now want their basic salaries to be reviewed upward, when they can easily say, look, I don't even need to live on my basic salary, because all these other perks I'm getting is more than sufficient. It's far more than not just the average Nigerian, the average middle-class Nigerians can afford. And I think that's really what the appeal should be. Choose to reject it individually and say, no, I don't need this now. So nominally, the increase can go on to fulfill whatever the commission believes to be its right. And then the individuals themselves send the body language to Nigerians that we're not existing because of these salaries, and we don't want it to be an issue, and we are therefore rejecting it. And that will send a message to other commissions that are tone deaf in this particular period in time, to seek for time, to seek to push forward some of the decisions.
But then Others will argue with you and say that at what point in our political history have our politicians truly listened to the body language of their citizens? Rather, it's the other way around. The citizens have to listen to the body language of the government. That is an aside. Mr. Okunade, how does Nigeria's current, just for some more perspective, the current remuneration package for political office holders compare to other countries? And what would be some of the experiences of these countries that have implemented similar salary increase for the public officials?
Yeah, when you compare salary with other areas, you juxtapose it also with the way and manner those citizens of those states have actually been taken care of. I want to state that we had during the last administration that what Mr. Ashiru said, a lot of them donated their salary. Some even said 50% cut. I've asked myself, if indeed our leaders are sincere to what they are saying about the salary and some of the allowances they are collecting, claiming to be donated, what are the specific things that those things were actually used for? As a finance person, where you say you are setting aside, you should be able to come at the end of every month, at the end of every year, to say, tell the populace, as I actually said in my words, to actually put aside some of my allowances and some of my salary. These are things that we're able to use it and actually have the feel that some of those things. This is why a lot of people will tell you that these political offices should be on part-time basis. Because a lot of them had their individual businesses that they were doing before now. Maybe we leave only Mr. President to have the concentration, but for National Assembly and every other area, can we go ahead, practice that, your profession that you're doing before you become a politician, and you can have more of this, and we can just take a little allowance to make things happen. The truth of the matter is, if we compare our position with other people, it's not about the remuneration. It's about the benefit that other people, which other day I was in a particular program and people are actually comparing us that it used to be Ghana must go, but now people are saying Nigeria must go in Ghana. Because when you look at the currency of this neighboring country to dollar, which we claim to, is really not it. That's why you see a lot of organizations moving to our neighboring country to go ahead and establish their organization so that they can, compete favorably. If you look at all those things that are actually happening, it's not about the salary. It's about what are other benefits that some of these people are benefiting from, not the salary that they have to take home with.
We have to end the conversation now. Thank you very much, Mr. Ashiru and Mr. Okunade, for the time you've given.